This match is a huge grudge match with a lot of history in it. That all super music, familiar music there. It's the franchise and Chris Bomber. Two men who have been cornerstones at the Baltimore Elite Wrestling Alliance, and look at the look on franchise's face. He's eating up the warm reception from his fans here tonight. They're all ready to see him and Chris Bomber put an end to this grudge. He's wrapping it up with the fans. The franchise is ready to lock horns with Chris Bomber. Not that long ago, we had thought that we would see a reunion of the Elite Alliance, a group of Chris Bomber, Roland Havoc, and the franchise. But Bomber and Havoc turned their backs on the franchise. Chris Bomber put the franchise through hell in that Ascension tournament. And this is it. This is the grudge match with so much behind it.
Check him in the deck!
Right here, WWE Damnation. And the franchise is playing it cool. But you have to know, you have to wonder what's going through his head at this moment. They have to be wondering, what is it going to take for him to put away a former World Heavyweight Champion and Chris Bomber? Man, he beat Roland Havoc 1 month ago. And there he is, the man who puts the me in extreme, former World Heavyweight Champion, the president of the Baltimore Elite Wrestling Alliance, Chris Bomber.
I couldn't stop you from winning the Ascension tournament, but I'll stop you tonight, baby. Huh?
And the franchise is welcoming Chris Bomber into the ring, and Bomber taking the long way. He obviously wants no part of the franchise. The man who won not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 matches to take his top at the Ascension tournament and earn a title shot at the end of the year. And Chris Bomber wants no part of the franchise. The franchise wants him. The franchise has been waiting, and he's been counting down the days until Damnation. And the crowd is not taking too kindly to Chris Bomber. Referee calling for the bell, and this match is officially underway. Chris Bomber, the franchise.
This match is hardcore rules. That's right.
It's a hardcore rules match, as you can hear the referee just announce to the crowd. This match is underway. Chris Bomber with that look of determination. The franchise, that nonchalant look. And a slap to the face, a huge slap there. Rattling Chris Bomber. And this is what we've been waiting for. We thought that we had the biggest grudge match of the year with Craven and Bomber. We thought we saw a match of the year with Josh Kramer and Ray Black. This match has the potential to steal both of those crowns. Bomber there with the kick to the midsection of the franchise. Grabs him. Goes for the Irish whip. Franchise comes back. Huge clothesline. Rattling the skull there, Chris Bomber. Franchise is down to business, as you can see him removing those elbow pads. Whip to Chris Bomber, and a huge shoulder block from the franchise. Franchise going to work, smashing the skull of Chris Bomber there into the turnbuckle. Spins him around. Huge chop to the abdomen and the chest of Chris Bomber. Bomber with the reversal. Now he's chopping the franchise. And I've been on the receiving end of those chops there before. And they're dangerous enough to leave welts and bruises. Bomber with the huge bulldog going to the franchise. Going for the quick cover. 2 and a kick out in the franchise. Now Bomber there with the sleeper hold. He's locking it in, trying to take the breath away from the franchise, wearing him out.
Come on, he's done. He sucks. He's done. He's done.
And now franchise working back up to his feet. Huge breaker there, and Chris Bomber goes down over into the corner. And that's the resiliency of the franchise. The man who wants to put an end to this grudge in this hardcore match. And the franchise grabbing that steel chair, and he means business. Former world champion in different promotions as the franchise. Tosses that steel chair in the ring. Connects with the shots to the skull of Chris Bomber. Backs him into the corner. Chopping away at the chest of Chris Bomber is the franchise. And Bomber with the low blow. Huge DDT onto the chair. And Chris Bomber going for the cover now, using the chair for leverage. That's a smart move. You don't see too many younger guys on the roster with that much ring intelligence as to try to put as much weight down on their opponent as physically possible to win the match. Bomber backing him out. Here comes the franchise. He's coming back. And, oh, huge sidewalk slam. And once again, going for the cover is Chris Bomber. And another near fall. The referee's hand going down for the 3, but the franchise barely able to lift his shoulder off the canvas. And Chris Bomber, the man who puts the me in extreme, going right back. That steel chair. And he rolls the franchise out of the ring, and he's in quick pursuit, and there's nothing the referee can do about this. This is all legal. Oh, he's choking the franchise. The cords for this camera. And there's nothing the referee can do. This is all legal. This grudge has to come to an end as we're 6 minutes and 42 seconds into this matchup. Chris Bomber trying to catch his breath, inhaling, exhaling greatly. You can see him standing there with his back erect. It's the perfect way to try and gain breath. Try to get it circulating through your body again when a match this grueling is going on. Smashing the skull of the franchise into the ring apron. He's got that steel chair in hand. Bad intention. Oh! He breaks the chair. Or doesn't necessarily break it, but he breaks the franchise with that steel chair. You can see him lifting him up. Chris Bomber slowing the match down to his pace. No more momentum for the franchise. As we saw, there's a quick cover now, 2. Oh! And we thought Chris Bomber had it there, and it's only 2. And he's harassing the referee. And there's nothing the referee can do. Chris Bomber pays that man.
We get the hell out of here. This is seamless. I'll buy 3. I think I beat this guy.
The crowd wants to know how this epic rivalry is coming to a fold. Chris Bomber slowly turning around. There goes the franchise with a huge chair shot, rattling. Chris Bomber, who he doesn't fall, he collapsed to the canvas. That's how vicious that chair shot was. The franchise now bringing that steel chair down across the back, and he tosses it across the ring. And now the franchise picks that chair up again as the referee is in front of the camera. And one more time. Oh! Huge shot there. Bringing that down across the back of Chris Bomber, the president of the BWA, who has set out these past few months to make the life of the franchise a living hell. He tried to thwart the franchise from winning the Ascension tournament, but was unsuccessful. And you can see Chris Bomber laughing. He's going for that patented gut wrench, but the franchise battling back. Uh-oh. Huge DDT, taking Chris Bomber down. And the franchise going for the cover. Ref with the quick count 2, and Chris Bomber gets his shoulder up, and the franchise looks frustrated. It has to be going through his mind right now. He has to be wondering, what does it take to put this former world heavyweight champion away for good? And there you can see him going back to that steel chair. A chair that he drove into the spine of Chris Bomber. Neither one of these men is afraid. Neither one of these men is afraid to go the distance. Oh, and another chair shot to the skull. Bomber catching it this time, and he takes it, and he drives it home to the skull of the franchise. Little shade there, Brian Roberts with the cover, 2, and the franchise kicking out again. Now Bomber once again has a steel chair in his hands. And this man is known for hardcore and vile activities back in his heyday. Chris Bomber won his first world heavyweight title by choking out his brother. Oh! And he just launches that steel chair at the franchise, and he's got to be out. Once again, he goes for the cover, both shoulders down, and the franchise somehow dug down and found a way to kick out of that one.
Come on, franchise. Come on, man, start to get up.
And Chris Bomber is calling for the end. He's looking for that patented gut wrench suplex or gut wrench power bomb, and he connects. That's it. It's over. Lift the cover, hook of the leg. Oh, the franchise kicking out. Chris Bomber is irate. He thought that was it. He thought that that's all it would take to put away the franchise, to put an end to this grudge, to put an end to this exhilarating matchup. But it's not it. And he's positioned in that chair with some dangerous intentions. What could he possibly have in mind? And Chris Bomber wants the franchise off. He's furious. And Chris Bomber wanted to rally the crowd behind him, but all he brought with him was the heat. No, it can't be. Gut wrench onto the steel chair. The spine and the hip of the franchise colliding with that cold, unforgiving steel. And trust me, every time, the human bone. Oh, with the cover, two. Oh my God, the franchise found some way to kick out again. And Chris Bomber harassing the referee. Throwing the F-bomb around is Chris Bomber. He gut-wrenched the franchise onto the steel chair. He blames the referee for this not being over. But that's the resiliency of the franchise. That's how much this rivalry means to him, that he somehow is finding a way to battle back. Chris Bomber looking for another gut wrench. But the franchise getting out of it. Oh, he has him up. Death Valley Driver. And Chris Bomber reversing it. The franchise couldn't get him up all the way. Chris Bomber weighs too much for the franchise to position him on the shoulders for that Death Valley Driver-like maneuver. And the franchise is using the ropes to try and gain some kind of leverage, to try to work his way back up to his feet here in this matchup. But he can't. Chris Bomber right back on the onslaught, and that back has to be taking its toll on the franchise. Chris Bomber hit him with two gut-wrench power bombs. One onto the steel chair. Going for the clothesline. Franchise battling back now with a huge clothesline. And once again, franchise didn't immediately go for the cover. As you can see, it's back from the shades from that gut wrench just working to him, just wearing him down. And that has to be a positive side of this matchup for Chris Bomber. Sure, he would have loved to have already gotten the victory, but a weakened opponent is an easy. Oh, the franchise has him up. Death Valley Driver. Death Valley Driver over the shoulders of the franchise, and the franchise going for the cover. And that's it. It's over. The feud has finally ended. The referee calling for the bell, and the franchise has done it. The franchise has beaten Chris Bomber.
No more hand claps still. Take some ass though. You gotta turn the lights down.
And whether you like him or not, whether you're a fan of the franchise or you're a fan of Chris Bomber, give it up to these two men. They just put it all on the line to try and put an end to this feud. The franchise is still at the top of the Ascension tournament. The franchise still has a title shot. And there you can see that arrogance of the franchise. That's what these people love. The franchise fans are rallying for This crowd is not like Chris Bomber, but ladies and and gentlemen, this shake of hands. Whether you like him or not, we both for such a valuable effort. We pull out all the stops. Oh, and the franchise of mistakes. Over the shoulders goes Chris Palmer. And that is it. The franchise. See you in the end of this one. And the franchise clapping it up on his way to the back after putting an end to the franchise Chris Palmer.